You're 53 years old. You're not lazy. You've never been lazy. You walk every single day, same route, same pace, same 30 minutes. And yet your testosterone is dropping. Your energy is fading. Your doctor is hinting at TRT. And somewhere in the back of your mind, you're wondering if this is just what getting older feels like. Here's what nobody told you. The walk isn't the problem. How you're walking is. There are 6 specific walking habits, each one backed by peer-reviewed science, that trigger measurable testosterone increases without a single rep in the gym. And by the end of this video, you'll understand the entire system from start to finish. Not just one tip, not just a fragment, the full picture. We'll start with this simple habit anyone can apply tomorrow morning. Then we'll build toward the ones that deliver the biggest hormonal impact, including one that most men never reach and one that your doctor almost certainly never mentioned. Stay with me, because the gap between the man who's aging fast and the man who isn't, it's not genetics. It's this. Before we get into the habits, you need to understand one thing. Testosterone doesn't just respond to what you lift. It responds to biological signals your body is reading every single hour of every single day. Scientists call the control system behind this the HPG axis, the hypothalamic pituitary gonadal axis. Think of it as a 3-way communication chain inside your body. Your hypothalamus fires the signal. Your pituitary amplifies it. Your gonads receive it and produce testosterone. That chain evolved for a human who moved in sunlight, navigated real terrain, and lived inside a sensory-rich environment. We've stripped almost all of that away, and the chain is breaking down in silence. Every habit in this video directly restores one of those broken signals. Here's what it is, why it matters, and how you apply it. That's the structure. Let's move. Habit 1. Morning sunlight walking. This is the entry point, the foundational habit that makes everything else work better. And if you're doing nothing else from this list, start here. Here's the biology. Cortisol and testosterone operate on an inverse seesaw. When cortisol rises unnaturally and stays elevated, testosterone gets crushed. But a healthy cortisol spike early in the morning, triggered by natural light hitting your eyes within 30 to 60 minutes of waking, anchors your circadian rhythm, burns off quickly, and primes your Leydig cells for peak testosterone output throughout the day. Your Leydig cells are the microscopic testosterone factories inside your testes. They need that morning signal to perform. Research published in the Journal of Biological Rhythms confirmed directly that circadian misalignment suppresses testosterone. This isn't a wellness trend. It's a biological reboot your HPG axis is waiting for every single morning. After just 1 week of consistent morning sunlight walks, most men report deeper sleep and more stable energy. Within a month, the hormonal effects begin compounding. Start tomorrow, 30 minutes, outside, before you check your phone. That single change sets the hormonal tone for your entire day. Now that your internal clock is reset and working for you, the next habit builds directly on top of it, and the impact is noticeably bigger. Habit 2. Natural terrain walking. Most men walk on flat sidewalks or treadmills and wonder why nothing changes. Here's something most people don't realize. The surface you walk on is actively communicating with your brain. Your proprioceptive system, your body's internal GPS that maps your position in real time, barely activates on flat, predictable ground. But the moment you move across uneven, varied terrain, a trail, a gravel path, a park with texture and resistance, that system fires hard. That neurological activation increases norepinephrine output, which directly stimulates your hypothalamus, which strengthens your HPG communication chain. Think of flat walking as sending your hormonal system a text that never delivers. Natural terrain walking is a direct call that goes through every time. Researchers have documented that proprioceptive-rich movement produces measurable increases in hypothalamic activity, the very starting point of testosterone production. This is your upgrade from basic to advanced. Same time investment. Dramatically different hormonal signal. Here's what's interesting though. The next habit has nothing to do with where you walk or when you walk. It has everything to do with how your body looks while you're doing it. And the science behind this one surprises almost every man who hears it. Habit 3. The posture protocol. How you carry your body while walking directly changes what your body produces hormonally. Research from Harvard and subsequent endocrine studies showed that expansive, upright body positioning measurably shifts testosterone to cortisol ratios. When you walk with an open chest, upright spine, and a deliberate, unhurried stride, your proprioceptive system sends dominant signals straight to your nervous system. Your brain interprets those signals as a high-status environmental cue. It's asking one biological question with every step. Are we the predator or the prey right now? A collapsed, hunched shuffle answers that one way. A tall, grounded, purposeful stride answers it completely differently. Your hormones are listening. This method is recognized by researchers in behavioral endocrinology because the feedback loop between posture and hormonal output is bidirectional and measurable. Here's how you apply it today. Chin level, chest open, shoulders back, stride deliberate, not rushed, not shuffling. Walk like a man who has somewhere worth going. Do this consistently, and within 2 to 3 weeks, you will feel a shift, not just in energy, but in how you carry yourself outside of your walks too. We're now at the halfway point. The first 3 habits are accessible, immediately applicable, and already more than most men ever implement. But this is where the real separation begins. The next habit targets testosterone at the cellular level, and most men never get here. Habit 4. Zone 2 walking and mitochondrial fuel production. Most men think of testosterone as a purely hormonal problem. But here's the insight that changes everything. Testosterone production is an energy-dependent biological process. Your Leydig cells don't conjure testosterone from nothing. They need ADP, the energy currency of every cell in your body. And the most efficient ADP producers you have are your mitochondria, the tiny power plants inside your cells. Their health and density directly determine how much hormonal fuel your body can generate. Zone 2 walking, that comfortable conversational pace where your breathing is slightly elevated but you could still hold a sentence, is the single most scientifically validated method for increasing mitochondrial density without triggering the cortisol spike that intense exercise produces. More mitochondria means more ADP. More ADP means your Leydig cells have the raw fuel to do their job at full capacity. Researchers at institutions, including the Salk Institute, have confirmed that Zone 2 aerobic activity produces significant mitochondrial biogenesis in as little as 4 weeks of consistent practice. This isn't casual exercise. This is testosterone fuel production happening at the deepest level of your biology. Authority signals don't get stronger than this, and most men walking at full speed, earbuds in, racing through their route, are completely bypassing this mechanism. Slow down. That's not a metaphor. Physiologically, slowing down is what unlocks this benefit. Now here's a pattern interrupt before we go further. A man walking slowly through a park, phone in his pocket, looking like he has nowhere to be. That man's hormonal environment is measurably superior to the guy speed walking while doom scrolling Instagram. What looks like more effort is producing less. Keep that in mind as we go into Habit 5. Habit 5. Walking without your phone. Researchers have found a direct relationship between chronic dopamine dysregulation and suppressed testosterone. Every time you scroll while walking, you're flooding your brain with low-effort, artificially amplified dopamine hits. Over time, that pattern physically downregulates your dopamine receptors, meaning real-world stimulation stops registering as rewarding. That directly blunts the neural pathways connected to testosterone-driven motivation, drive, and environmental engagement. Walking without your phone, eyes up, senses actually present, allows your dopamine baseline to recalibrate toward real-world reward sensitivity. Scientists call this environmental enrichment. It's one of the most consistently documented behavioral interventions for restoring healthy dopamine function. Here's the application. 1 walk per day. No phone, no podcasts, no music, just you and the environment. After 1 week, most men report a subtle but noticeable increase in mental clarity. After a month, the cumulative effect on motivation and drive becomes hard to ignore. This is one of those rare insights that sounds almost too simple, and that's exactly why most men skip it. Don't skip it. And now we reach the final habit, the one that targets testosterone's most dangerous and least discussed enemy. If you've implemented habits 1 through 5 and you're still not seeing the results you expect, this is almost certainly why. Habit 6. Fasted morning walks. Insulin resistance is testosterone's most insidious silent enemy. When your cells become resistant to insulin, your pancreas compensates by flooding your bloodstream with more of it. And chronically elevated insulin directly suppresses the HBG axis, choking the testosterone signal before it ever reaches your Leydig cells. This is happening silently in the majority of men over 50, whether they know it or not. A fasted morning walk, done before your first meal for 20 to 40 minutes, depletes liver glycogen and forces your muscle cells to dramatically increase their sensitivity to glucose uptake. Insulin sensitivity improves. Circulating insulin drops. And researchers have documented that even modest, consistent improvements in insulin sensitivity correspond to measurable increases in free testosterone, the biologically active form your body can actually use. This is the final piece of the system, and it's the one that unlocks the full potential of everything else on this list. Because you can walk in morning sunlight on natural terrain with perfect posture at zone 2 intensity without your phone. And if your insulin is chronically elevated, your HBG axis is still being suppressed at the source. Fix insulin sensitivity, and the entire hormonal system opens up. This is the habit most men never reach. This is the one that separates the men who see real results from the men who try and give up wondering why nothing changed. Here's the full picture now. 6 habits. 1 complete system. Morning sunlight resets your hormonal clock. Natural terrain upgrades your hypothalamic signal. Upright posture sends dominance, cues to your nervous system. Zone 2 pace fuels testosterone production at the mitochondrial level. Removing your phone restores the dopamine sensitivity that drives hormonal motivation. And fasted walking eliminates the insulin resistance, silently strangling your HBG axis. After 1 week of implementing even 3 of these, you will feel a shift in energy and sleep quality. After a month of stacking all 6, the biological environment your body lives in will be fundamentally different. Researchers have documented measurable changes in testosterone markers within 4 to 8 weeks of consistent lifestyle-based intervention in men in their 40s, 50s, and 60s. This is not theoretical. This is your biology responding to the correct signals after years of receiving the wrong ones. You are not helplessly aging. You are walking incorrectly. And now you know exactly how to fix it. If this gave you something real, hit that like button. It helps this reach the men who need it most. Subscribe if you want to keep going deeper into what actually works for men over 40. Drop your age in the comments and tell me which of these 6 habits you're starting first. I read every single one. And share this with a man in your life who's been told his testosterone decline is just part of getting older. Because it doesn't have to be. Now go use it. Also, click on the video on your screen to stay connected. I'll see you there. Take care.